So when you're buying your dream property in Spain, who is responsible for what costs? What do the buyers pay? What do the sellers pay? Now, this is a question that we're most commonly asked by buyers of property here in Spain. They obviously want to know exactly what it's going to cost them when they purchase their dream property here. However, we're also asked this by vendors as well, because it could be 15 or 20 years since they purchased the property, and in that time they've either forgotten what the costs are, or there'll be costs incurred during the time that they've been here in Spain. So in this week's episode, which is episode 161 of 2 Minute Tuesday, we're going to look about who pays for what when you're buying or selling a dream property here in the Hondon Valley. Welcome to 2 Minute Tuesday with Hondon Valley Homes. Okay, so the property buying and selling process is fairly similar to that you would find in quite a few European countries. However, there are a few little nuances, a few little subtle differences. And in this video, I'm going to explain what those are and the financial implications of them. So we're going to start with buyers, as this is potentially the easier of the two to explain. And the costs themselves are fairly simple to work out. So if you are buying a property here in Spain, obviously your first and major expense is going to be the property itself. So you're going to have the sale price of the villa. Now, there are also additional costs that you need to budget for. We have transfer tax, which is a little bit like a VAT, I suppose. And if you're in the Valencia region where we are here, it's 10%. And if you buy a property just a couple of kilometres down the road, across in the Murcia side of the border, then it's 8%. So you need to budget those as transfer taxes for purchasing the property. After that, we also have the land registry and the notary. So when you're buying the property, you're responsible for registering the property at the land registry, and you pay for the notary costs for the sale. So the two sets of lawyers and the notary will ratify the sale. And then the final cost is your lawyer fee. Obviously, you're responsible for paying your lawyers. These costs should add up to around about 12.5% over and above the agreed sale price of the property. The thing when you're buying your property is that there are no hidden charges, so you know exactly what you're paying. The only sort of extras that you could have are, say, if you ask the lawyer to do a Spanish will for you, if you ask them to open a bank account, or if you wanted to, say, give the lawyer a poder, a power of attorney. So if you weren't able to be here for the purchase of the property, then the lawyer can do this on your behalf. And they have to do a power of attorney, which can either be done in your country of origin, or you can come here to Spain and do the power of attorney. But that will come at a small additional cost. All of these will be informed by the lawyer prior to the sale, however. So there you go. It's quite simple if you're a buyer to work out the costs that you're going to incur when you are buying a property. However, let's have a look now at the vendors, because there's a few more things to take into consideration if you're actually selling your property. So as I said, it's a little bit more complicated if you're selling your property. You could have lived in the property for quite a few years, and there'll be a few things that you need to update, and some of those will come at a financial cost. So your job as the vendor is obviously to ensure that your property meets all of the requirements of not only the agent before they'll list the property for sale, but also the potential buyer's lawyer, because they're the person who's basically going to turn around and say, yes, the property is in good condition to sell, whether that's paperwork-wise or taxes and things like that. So in order to do that, these are the steps that you need to take, and these are possibly the financial implications of doing so. So the first one is, you may have lived in your property for a long time, and you may have made quite a few changes to it. You could have added extensions, added a garage, a workshop, most probably a pool if there wasn't one there beforehand. You could have put terracing in. There's countless things that you could do. And the thing is that your current set of deeds will have the house in the condition when you purchased it. So let's say you bought a new built property and there was no pool or landscaping or garages and things like that, and over the years that you've lived in the property, you've added all of them. And so these need to be updated onto the deeds. And in order to do this, you're going to need your lawyer and an architect and probably a notary. Now, some of this work can be done as part of the sale itself. So it's quite common to update paperwork. So if, let's say, you've added a swimming pool and it's not been updated on the deeds, and nobody updates anything on the deeds until they come to sell the property. So please don't think that you've done something wrong by not updating the deeds. However, they need to be updated so that the new owner, when they're buying the property, will be buying a villa with a swimming pool, whereas the deeds currently just say the villa itself. So there will be the costs associated with that. So that's a lawyer, that's the architect and the notary. Obviously, if you do this while you're actually selling the house, you're going to have a lawyer and the notary already involved. So it's really just the architect coming and updating a few bits and bobs. The second cost that you're going to have is obviously you're going to have your lawyer fees, and lawyers, as with anyone else, the fees vary, but you should be paying anywhere between €1,000 and €1,500 for your lawyer to handle the sale. And really your lawyer is your safeguard. They'll hold your hand through the sale. They're your insurance policy that you're going to get paid, because they're going to deal with the buyer's lawyer directly face to face, meaning that you don't have to. The next one is your agent fees. Now, typically they're 3%. However, if you're selling a property on the coast, you can pay 5, 6, 7, 8%. You know, the sky's the limit on the coast. But you need to budget for the costs. And of course, a lot of these costs are going to be plus EVA as well, which is 21% here in Spain. Then you're going to have the next one, which is number 4, is any sort of applicable taxes. Now, if you're a non-fiscal resident of Spain, meaning that you don't live here, you don't pay your taxes here, then the Spanish government are going to take 3% of the sale price of the house, and they're going to keep that to look to see whether you've paid your taxes and everything is paid and up to date. This 3% retention can be claimed back, but it typically takes a couple of years to do so. And I think it's one of the biggest bone of contentions of people who are selling properties here, that when they sell the property at the notary, the 3% is retained, that's sent to the tax office, and then you have to wait for the taxman to pay this money back, and it's a pain, you know, especially if you know that you don't owe anything. You're also going to have things like, say, capital gains tax. If you sold your property at a profit, and again, if you don't qualify for the exemption for capital gains tax, and again, we've got a detailed video on capital gains tax on our website. So if you go into the advice section for sellers on our website, you'll find, and search for capital gains tax, you'll find a full video explaining that. So you could have capital gains tax to pay on the profit. So this is the difference between the price that was declared when you purchased the property and the price that is declared when you sell the property, and then you will pay a tax on the profit unless you're reinvesting it, or if you are a fiscal resident here in Spain or retired, things like that. Next up, number 5, we've got the Energy Performance Certificate. Now, this is a document that's prepared by the architect, and it basically talks about the energy efficiency of your property, and it's between 150 €200, something like that. And then we have plusvalia. And plusvalia is a tax where basically the Ayuntamiento, the town hall, say that the price of the land when you purchase the property was X, and the price of the land when you sell the property is Y, and that they've improved the land because they've added new street lights, there is fibre optic cable in the ground, they've resurfaced, painted, whatever it is. They say that there is a perceived benefit, and anything that you have a benefit from can be taxed. So with plusvalia, you're paying the difference realistically in the land price then and the land price now, and you're paying a tax on that. It's a very contentious tax, because some people who bought at the height of the property market and sold when prices were low were still charged the tax that the land had gone up in price when they'd lost a lot of money on the property itself. So not a great one. And that basically is it. They're the costs for the buyers and the sellers. There's a lot to maybe take in on this video. However, if you go on our website onto the buyers section or the sellers section, and if you go in the expert advice, you will find we have articles, we have free to download ebooks written by yours truly, and of course we've got all the 2-Minute Tuesday videos which detail every aspect and every cost of buying and selling properties here in Spain. So there we go, real quick video this week. Hopefully it's given you a bit of information that you might find interesting. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks with a new video, but If you have any questions in the meantime, my details should be on the screen at the moment. And we'll look forward to seeing you for the next episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. If you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to subscribe, and then you'll get the emails automatically, or the videos automatically will come onto your YouTube feed. So until the next episode, thank you for your time again, and we'll see you then. Adios.